Hi everyone, I am Senya and I think this is my very first YouTube video. Um, I want to do this video for students from Africa coming to study in UK particularly. It can be anywhere in the world exactly, but I'm from Africa and I think my experience would relate more with students from Africa. So it's going to be about the whole coming to UK, studying. I'm going to talk you right through every experience I've had actually. First, preparing to come to UK. When I was coming, I packed so much stuff, so much African clothing, hoping I could like show off my clothes kind of, but it wasn't really about showing off. That's what I used to wear. I like wearing my African attire and all that. But I got here and it was winter and I could barely wear any of them, so it it was almost useless that I brought them. So don't go packing too much, or if you do pack them, make sure that you pack them for using them in summer. Like I said, I'm here to do a 1-year master's course, and 1 year is a lot of stress. So before leaving, just mentally prepare yourself for that. Prepare yourself for stress. Usually we say oh, overseas education is easy, but trust me, sweetie, it is not easy. Overseas education is not easy. How we learn and how they learn is totally different. So before coming, what I would suggest is familiarize yourself with how to use a computer, basic stuff, Word, Excel, and stuff like that. A couple of my colleagues, well, not my colleagues in the same class per se, but a couple of other African students really had a problem with starting to use computers and all that, because in Africa we don't use computers from school per se. You start using computers maybe at uni or mostly at work, so it's never too easy. So make sure before you leave home you do know how to touch the computer, or put it on at least. Make sure you do know that. And then coming to UK, finding an accommodation and stuff like it. I was on a scholarship, so but I had the option to take either a university accommodation or a private accommodation, and I was schooling in Leeds. So I chose a university accommodation, and I must say it is way better and it's less stressful. You only get to pay a little amount extra, I should say. Staying in a private accommodation has its pros and cons. Like a couple of my colleagues had problems while staying in private accommodation. After some time, their internet went off. After some time, landlords will come and say, oh, you have to pay bills, when it was supposed to be all part of their contract or so. So I didn't have any of that problem anyway, so it's much better. Just note, I'm actually not yet done. I'm still writing my dissertation. And food. If you're coming from Africa, don't worry too much about bringing your pepper or this and that. Oh yeah, you might need a couple of things, but there are a lot of African markets in UK and you can find almost anything. I'm from Sierra Leone and I was worried about ogiri. I was shocked to find ogiri in the African market. It was it was funny, but yes, there was ogiri in the African market. And okay, so we're done with the food aspect, but yes, you can bring some stuff. Fish. I miss fish. That's ugly. Don't look at that. That's very ugly. Yeah, you can bring that, yes. um Also, like I said, prepare yourself mentally for a whole new year of stress. But let me not scare you. It's not as scary as I'm making it sound. It's You would actually enjoy the whole experience, you see. You might actually enjoy the entire experience. It might be not as bad as, well, for me, I had a daughter, and the most difficult part of the entire 1 year has been missing my daughter. That has been the most difficult part. That has been the most difficult part, I must say. I have a whole list, so let me just check my list to see where I'm at. Integrating and making friends. What I could say is, don't try too hard. You are going to meet a couple of international students who are going to be really friendly and all that. It's not going to be too difficult to make friends, but just be who you are. Don't try to say, because they always, you are going to face a lot of I don't know how to describe it. I don't even know what's the English term for it. But maybe you might sit in class and they're talking about Africa and this, Africa and that. Don't go all defensive. I made a lot of mistakes. Everything about Africa that was underdeveloped and blah blah blah, I didn't want to hear it, though it's the truth. But I was just overly defensive. And what more can I say? It's good. It's a good thing anyway. Making friends. You might see, don't be shocked. You might see someone who is your classmate on the streets. I mean, in class you talk nicely, but on the streets they will pass as if they never knew you, or have never seen you before. Don't be shocked. That's Britain for you. The people are just as unpredictable as their weather. But that wasn't an issue anyway. I made friends from different countries. I'm from Sierra Leone. I made friends with students from Japan, Brunei, mostly Asia and other African countries, and other places. I had a lot of friends. Well, a lot of colleagues. You don't go calling people your friends. That's one more thing. Take note of it. Don't go calling people your friends. Make sure you're friends before you classify them as friends, because they are quick to tell you we're colleagues, not friends. Be careful with that. Be careful with that. Be careful with that. Okay, so let's get to studies. Rule number 1 about studies. As soon as you get here, or they start giving you assignments and stuff like that, whatever it is, find a study group. Divide and conquer. Trust me, if you say you're going to do it on your own, you will suffer like I did. You will suffer like I did. When I was in a study group, my grades were better. Because you alone cannot read as many journals as everybody. But if someone else has read this, someone else has read this, and then you bring all your ideas together, compute that, it makes studies easier. So rule number 1, divide and conquer. Rule number 2, make sure you understand the whole plagiarism thing very well. It's not like us, we can easily copy and paste, and it's not a problem. But here, copy and paste is not allowed. If you copy and paste, you better quote it. And don't just copy and paste because you want to copy and paste. Make sure you do it. Don't copy and paste. That's the advice. Make sure you learn how to critically analyze stuff. That their critical analysis. I never understood what it was though, until I got into trouble for plagiarism. It was a whole different thing. But you did not hear me say that. You did not hear me. It's a secret. You did not hear me. Okay. Like I said, it's not easy. It's not easy. It was so stressful. It was paper after paper after paper, journal after journal after journal, and work and work and work. You would barely have time for yourself. You would barely have time for yourself. You would barely have time for yourself. But don't let the work get to you so much that you don't have time to integrate with people. You don't have time to mix with people. You don't have time to know the town you're in. I don't even know Leeds. All I know is city center, back to my accommodation, city center to school, school to my accommodation. I don't know anywhere. And with all of that, it's not as if I made such good grades. In fact, I mean, this has been the worst year of my life. I made so many mistakes in this course. I just wish I have one more opportunity, maybe do another master's, so I can correct everything I did wrong. It was all my fault. You know, there were so many things. Like, personally, I do love fashion a lot. I do love designing a lot. I became addicted to shopping. Even when I had no money, I would just go online looking at clothes. I spent all my time doing that, looking at YouTube and blah and blah and blah. Make sure you prepare a timetable for yourself. Make sure you prepare a timetable for yourself. Whatever is being said in class, make sure when you come back home, you look at your lesson notes, your lecture notes. Make sure you look at your lecture notes. Make some personal notes for yourself. Let every module have a book or something. Or I don't know how you're going to do it, but make sure that every day you touch something and put them in your own words, because that way when you're ready to study later on, it will be easier, since you have already summarized it and all that. Make sure you do it every day. I mean, it might be stressful, but somehow, some way, just try to. I spent all my time watching YouTube, and here I am making a YouTube video. So that's how addicted I became. Married to YouTube. Did nothing, never went out much, and I don't know. It was almost at the end of second semester that I started going out, hanging out with people, blah blah blah. But a bundle of regrets anyway, especially in the studies aspect. Now I just want to summarize everything. Dissertation. Right from day one, even before anything, come with a plan. Make sure you have an idea. Let's say before the end of the second semester, before the end of the first semester, or in the first few months, as long as you understand what your course is about, start thinking about your dissertation very early. Start writing very early if possible. Start thinking about what you want to do. Discuss it with discuss it with your tutors, or discuss it with people anyway. Start very early, because at the end of the day, my dissertation accounts for 60%. I have failed so much of the course that this dissertation is all I have, and I'm putting my all into it. And they say yes, it's possible. So right from scratch, just know that everything you're going to be working for is going to be the dissertation. So right from scratch, just start straight off with the dissertation. And I wish you good luck with your studies. Yeah, I'm going to try to make a couple of other videos, but we'll see how that goes. Till then, au revoir.